Plays doing our Pokemon Yellow glitchless. I'm really looking forward to this. Take it away, Mchan.
Alright, what's up everybody? And once again, welcome back to No Kid Hungry. After the 2 runs, my voice is very exhausted, but we're gonna try our best here. I do have another commentator who's running a bit late, so he will be joining pretty shortly. So for now, we're going to just move on here. So we're gonna go ahead and before I start the run, I gotta go ahead and go through my options here. I need fast text speed, so I can go through the text quicker. Animations off to turn off battle animations, and then the battle style set to make sure that if trainers use multiple Pokemon, the game does not ask me if I'm going to switch my Pokemon each time. Oh. Okay, can you say something now?
Something now.
Okay, hopefully that's good. 'Cause I was told to turn your voice up.
Yeah, sometimes I do speak a little low, so I'll try to raise my volume too.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, so this is Pokemon Yellow for the Game Boy Color. It is the definitive version of Pokemon Red and Blue in the first generation. Most people, when they watch speedruns of the first generation games, are mostly familiar with Red and Blue. And to go through the game, it is similar to Red and Blue. So you might think the speedrun is going to be similar, but it's actually very different. The beginning actually starts off very different immediately, as normally in Red and Blue you have the option between choosing Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur. But in this game you don't get the option of either one of them. Instead you start with a Pikachu. Which, if you've played this game casually, you might know that Pikachu immediately starts off with some roadblocks right away. The first roadblock that Pikachu comes up against is Brock, who is the first gym leader of the game, who uses Rock-type Pokemon, and Pikachu cannot do anything against Rock-type Pokemon. So he does pose some issues there. Oak's gonna catch up Pikachu right here, and he's gonna give it to us very shortly. The other difference is that your rival is going to have an EV, and usually in Pokemon games, whenever you choose a starter and your rival chooses a starter, then you already know what your rival's team is going to be. In this game, it's not immediately obvious as to which team your rival's going to have. So right away in our first rival fight, it's going to determine which team your rival's going to have. So you can either win or lose the fight. It is faster to lose the fight in the immediate sense, but you want to win, because when you win the rival fight, then later on in the run, the rival's going to have a Flareon. If you lose the fight, then the rival's going to have a Vaporeon. Now you want to have Flareon, not really because Flareon's easier to kill, but because later on your the rival's team with Flareon is going to give you more experience, which is very crucial throughout the route. So I'm going to win here. And there we go. So the reason it is faster to lose this fight is because you would skip out on a level up here, and then Pikachu is also going to learn a move, which I don't care about, because this is the only fight where we're going to be using Pikachu. There's also another rival fight, which we're not going to be doing at all because it's optional. And if you win that fight, then your rival could have Jolteon, but you're never going to see Jolteon. So, now we are going to go up through Route 1 and into Viridian City, and we are going to run a bit of an errand here. We're gonna get the parcel in the mart, and then go back to Oak. We passed by Route 1 a total of 3 times here, and throughout our 3 trips throughout Route 1, we have a chance of running into random encounters here. And since we're not going to be using Pikachu, we're just going to be running away from all these Pokemon. Normally in a PB attempt, you would reset after, like, 4 encounters or something like that. Maybe 3, if you're really aggressive with your resets. And this is not really any way to really deal with it. You just have to just go with it. Go with whatever you have. So because this is the only fight that we use Pikachu, and we don't use Pikachu for very much. Pikachu is not a very good Pokemon. So right away we need an alternative for what to use instead. And interestingly enough, Yellow is one of the very few Pokemon games where we never change which Pokemon to use throughout the run, because the Pokemon that we are going to be using is very powerful. Alright, so a bit of an optimization here as I go into the lab is I am talking to Oak from behind here, and that's because our rival's going to come up, and our rival moves really slow. So you want to minimize the amount of tiles your rival's going to move. And this is very common with a lot of Pokemon runs where you kind of just do some camera manipulation in order to save a few frames here and there on cutscenes. So coming up, oh hey.
Hey there.
All right.
So, you can kind of do the same thing where you go from the side or from behind, but in Yellow you have Pikachu in the way, so you have to go from above.
Yeah.
Behind. Hi, Randall. And I'm here now.
Yeah, you are here. And Randall is better than me at this game, so he'll probably do a better job at explaining things than me.
That is if I remember anything.
Alright.
Because you're doing just fine right now, so...
Yeah.
Partially because you're just running away from yourself. It's Pikachu. Haven't gotten any encounter.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
The only 3 encounters in the first pass, so this is pretty good luck. Pretty average.
Okay, well, nice.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to Mart. We're going to buy some Pokeballs here, and then, as well as some potions. And, let's buy 6. Okay. So coming up is where we're going to be immediately switching to the Pokemon that we're going to be using throughout the entire game. And that's going to be Nidoran Male. Now, to find a good Nidoran Male, it is about a 5% chance, but what we're going to be doing is what's known as Rng Manipulation. Would you like to explain Rng Manipulation? I'm not the best at it.
Yeah, I'll take my best shot at it. So, when you save the game, and then you hard reset, so you turn off the console, or in this case the emulator, and then you turn it back on, the values in the game get reset to 0, and then from there, for the most part, RNG should just behave in a very predictable manner, because RNG is a bit of a hardware-ish type of spoiler, isn't fully random. So from there, you can manipulate various things, for example, encounters, or the stats on certain encounters, or just not getting encounters, as you'll see later on in the run. Here, we're looking for a Nidoran Male at level 6, with 15 DV attack and 14 DV speed. The defense and the special DV values are not guaranteed to be the same every time, so I'm not commenting on that quite yet.
Okay, hopefully that's good. It is! Very nice. Ooh. Okay, so it's not over yet, because I'm gonna check the stats here. It's not guaranteed that this Nidoran's good, so we're gonna check the stats here to see if it is good.
Yeah.
So, and then I nickname Nidoran one letter, because we're going to be using Nidoran a lot. Oops. Okay, not checking the Pikachu. Okay, it is a good Nidoran, so the run continues.
Alright, 23 HP, and then as well as... Okay, so you have the 10 defense, so that's the 13 special Nido.
Oh,
Normally
really?
you don't know which of 2 Nidos you have if you have 23 HP. So there's 3 common Nidos that you get out of this Manip, and this one has the lowest special DV, but it is tied for the highest HP DV because of the way the HP, the determinant value, I believe that's what DV stands for, is calculated. There are 3. There's one that has 14 special, which has lower HP, and then there's also the 15 special, which has the highest stats out of the Nidos that you can get.
Yeah.
But all of them have a common 15 attack and 14 speed. And those are the most important stats, because offensive stats are just really important in the run to outspeed stuff and kill them. For example, this Caterpie.
Yeah, so we're here in the first dungeon right away, Viridian Forest, and there's 4 trainers, and we're going to be fighting 3 of the 4 trainers. The very last trainer is the only required one, but the reason we're going to be fighting 2 extra trainers, normally you don't want to fight extra trainers because it's slower, but we need Nidoran to be at level 12 right before fighting Brock, because Nidoran learns Double Kick at that level. And so if I was going straight to the end of the forest as fast as I can, then Brock would take like 10 minutes.
Yeah. There's only a few really useful moves in this game, whereas in Red and Blue you can use Squirtle, or for all that it's worth you could use Bulbasaur, where you can just use super effective moves to spam down the Onix, whereas in this game, the best you can do is double kick from either Nidoran or Pikachu, but Nidoran is just strictly better than Pikachu, so we use Nidoran instead for the entire run.
Okay, so this trainer is it's not new anymore, but it's still kind of a recent reroute here in the early game, where we actually fight this trainer. There's a different trainer that we used to fight for a very long time, but thanks to the help the help of a few different runners, they found this manipulation that basically, right after this fight, we're going to be manipulating no encounters, as well as manipulating for a Pidgey, if I do it right, that is. And no encounters for this forest is really helpful, because the encounter rate in Viridian Forest is really high.
Yeah, and there's no super cheat trick you can do to get through the grass without having to risk the encounters. Some of them are really troll and long as well. There's actually a strat that has been that you see in tasks of this game a lot, where you actually encounter one of the really bad encounters, level 9 Pidgeotto.
Oh boy.
And you use that to serve as your experience instead of the first optional that you fought.
Yeah, okay, I need a focus time now.
Oh, yeah.
That might not work. I pushed A. I went down a little too early. Okay, if I don't get a Pidgey, then I will just go through the rest of the forest and just get a Spearow later.
Yeah. You still might, honestly.
Yeah, it's still possible for me to get a Pidgey.
Pack down whatever you get.
But yeah, something to note about these manipulations is it looks like I'm moving very specifically, but something else that I'm also doing is I'm pressing A on very specific tiles, which lags the game by a few frames, in order to further manipulate the results that I want. So this trainer right here is notorious in every other game, except for this game. He has a Caterpie in this game. In every other game, he has a Weedle that can poison you. And even if he had a Weedle in this game, it's not that big of a deal because Nidoran's a poison type. Yeah, Nidoran is a poison type that can't get poisoned at all.
Yeah, it still does a decent amount of damage, so if you're at a lower HP, you still have to heal, but, like, at 28 HP, you're guaranteed to 3-shot the Caterpie anyways, and at worst, you're taking 16 damage if you get actual crit twice or something, so
yeah,
28 is perfectly.
Okay, so people don't get happy with this. Just deposit the Pikachu.
I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about?
You deposit the Pikachu because Pikachu later on the run will activate certain cutscenes, and that's slow, so it is faster to deposit the Pikachu.
Yeah, you have to do it at some point because there's certain cutscenes that when you have your Pikachu out, it just takes forever. And you also need to take the center at some point between now and Cerulean City. With this version of the route, just go ahead and do it now. Which takes a little bit of extra movement, but gives you a better chance at Red Bar for the Mount Moon section. And here we go, the first bad fight of the run. The Lighter guy.
Yeah, so I will be saving throughout the run. Normally in PB attempts you don't save because you know it's faster to not die. In a marathon, some fights can just straight up kill you without anything you can do about it. In this fight, you're not that likely to die, but if you do, then it's pretty bad.
I guess now it's like a little less bad because you do center in Pewter, but it's still worth it. And critting the Sandshrew or getting crit by the Sandshrew is really bad.
Yeah.
Because the way critical hits are calculated in this game. Because when you do crit, the game recalculates your stats by just doubling your level, but they also erase the -2 defense that this Sandshrew was at. So thank goodness you didn't crit. It is still a range to kill if you do get one crit out of the two -2 defense horn attacks. But luckily, you don't have to even think about it. And here's Brock, who is ironically easier, but still really tough.
Yeah, definitely. So we got double kick now. So again, that trainer was optional, but we still needed the experience to get double kick. So now we're gonna use double kick here. So Brock has a Geodude and an Onix. Geodude only knows Tackle. Onix, on the other hand, has Tackle, Screech, Bite, and Bind. What you don't want to see is Bind, because Onix outspeeds you, and Bind is a trap move, and trap moves in Gen 1 are extremely busted. Yeah.
Because they prevent you from taking your turn, and they just keep wrapping you for however long they do. So let's see. Okay, Screech Fail is amazing.
Yeah.
The best outcome. There's
I win
certainly
from here.
edge cases. Oh, okay. So,
yeah. Okay, so yeah, really good fight.
Expansive, not, but yeah, perfect. And you have, let's see. All right, 11 HP. Not bad. If this were Fire Red Leaf Green, this would be like absolutely amazing because that would count as torrent. But in this case, it's still really good because you're close to Red Bar, but you're not full-on dead to quick attack quite yet.
So Red Bar is basically a mechanic well, it's in every Pokemon game, but it's very useful in Gen 1 because the Red Bar low HP sound overwrites certain sound effects, so you can actually in this game it skips level up jingles, so it saves a few seconds each time if you can keep it, but because it doesn't save as much time as it does in Red and Blue, you don't normally count on it unless you're going for high level time.
Yeah, and even then, often you can like exit the Surge Split, for example, at like 60 HP. Sometimes you'll be out in red bar, sometimes 60. Like when you're at 60, you just usually don't bother stalling for red bar because it takes too long to get red bar to justify actually going for it at that point.
Yeah, and in red and blue, there's ways to manipulate yourself to always be in red bar. But in this game, if you get red bar, you get red bar.
Yeah.
The other thing to talk about is badge boosting. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Why not? So Brock gave us the Boulder Badge, which is technically the first really broken item of the game. The Boulder Badge, it gives you a 10%, I believe, attack boost to your attack stat. But the thing about it is, anytime any of your stats, aside from attack, I guess, get modified, so for example, anytime String Shot actually lowers your speed, those badge boosts get recalculated, so you're getting new badge boosts, and you're gaining attack every time you're losing your speed. You'll see that with other moves such as Leer later on in the run, but right now the main one is just String Shot because we're fighting a bunch of bugs. Okay, didn't get quick attack from Rattata, so probably not getting red bar in this section, but also not risking dying to crit there, so it's a nice trade-off. Ekans also has Leer, which can guarantee this 2-shot range, but you're probably gonna... Actually, yeah, you'll probably still get the range anyways.
Yeah, I got the range.
Yeah.
Okay, so this trainer right here is, right here you have an option between two trainers. It is faster to fight the last, but we fight the bug catcher because being level 16 after this fight is very helpful, because at a very specific point we want to be level 21, and the experience we get from this trainer gives us enough experience to get to that certain point.
Yeah, and also the bugs just don't deal as much damage as I believe it's a Rattata and Nidoran male on the last.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you do have to reload the route if you do choose to fight the last, but even considering that, there's fewer pokes, so Tasses tend to usually opt to fight the last instead of the bug catcher. But for RTA, you just go for it. Ooh, almost got the kill. But yeah. Also here, Mchan's choosing to use double kick to finish the blow on Caterpie despite it being not very effective, because double kick is a shake move, whereas Horn Attack is a flash move. It's making this flashing animation every time it's dealing damage. It's like blinking and flashing like 3, 4, or 5 times. Whereas the shake moves, like double kick, or you'll later see Bubble Beam, Ice Beam, and some of those types of moves, the screen just shakes a little bit and then the damage just goes through. So, whenever you can use a shake move, you just go for that over the flash move. And now that we have a Nidorino, I'm just gonna go ahead and clear up the rest of Route 3 with this last bug catcher, just a Caterpie and a Metapod, which at this point is just not a challenge, even though the bug is technically a higher level, I believe.
No, it's not, but yeah, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not?
Yeah.
My bad.
Level 11.
Let's see, how many attacks do... Okay, you're at, what, 4?
Well, I'm at 6
Okay.
now, so I,
Oh, 6.
Yeah.
Okay, completely misread.
but,
So, it's
alright,
Horn attacks.
so because I failed the Pidgey manipulation, I do need to find a Spearow here in this route.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So let's see if I can get it. Hopefully this gets me a Spearow. Spearow. It's a Mankey. Okay.
Got its Giovanni ways.
He actually recently got the Leaf Green World Record.
Yeah. So here, there's some bad encounters.
Sandshrew,
Mankey is
this
one of
time.
them. Sandshrew does learn the move Cut, but it's still not worth it because in Yellow you can get all of the starter Pokemon for free. So Charmander learns Cut and Dig, so it's easier to just go ahead and grab the free Charmander later on in the run, compared to trying to YOLO Ball or weaken a Sandshrew or a Paris or some other cutters that I can't think of off the top of my head. Unfortunately, still not finding the Spearow.
Okay, here
but
it is.
You got it? You got it?
Okay. Please don't crit. Okay, we're good.
Woo.
So I just gotta catch it now. And hopefully it doesn't break out.
Yeah, you have a couple
Alright,
of extra
there we
roll
go.
anyways, so
Yeah.
you're good.
Alright, there we go. So we got our flyer. Finally. And now coming up is Moon Manipulation. So we're going to be manipulating 0 encounters here, hopefully. It's the hardest manip, the longest one, most stressful. And
I would count it as the easiest, because you don't have to YOLO ball, personally.
yeah.
YOLO balls stress me out all the time.
Fortunately, if I miss this, then it's not that big of a deal. So let's see what happens.
There's no really bad encounters that kill you if you show up and you see it. Whereas, like, in Red or in Fire Leaf Green, Pikachus are terrifying. But here it's fine. I'll be quiet now.
Okay, so, as you can see, I'm not going to try again now, but I made it very far enough so that the minute was still worth going for. As you can see, that was a very long stretch of no encounters. I had a feeling that that first A press in one of those in that last sub area didn't go through, as I didn't see the lag there. So I suspected that that was gonna fail.
Yeah, you never. Sometimes it doesn't actually delay the lag, so sometimes it's still good, but you're just panicking the rest of the manip, something like that.
Yeah.
In this case, it's all good. Lots of Clefairies on this floor so far.
Yeah, Clefairies are really rare.
Yeah, this is the floor where you can find them. They're not really useful. Oh, there's a Paris. Okay.
Yeah, in Red and Blue, that would be really useful.
Yeah, and in this game, it's just like a sand troop.
Yeah.
And you just kind of don't do anything. Even the task doesn't actually catch a sand troop or a Paris. It just grabs the free Charmander.
Okay, so something else to note is, something I did during the manipulation is I picked up a rare candy, and that's going to be used for later. And then I also picked up the Moonstone. I'm also going to toss these Pokeballs because I don't need any more Pokeballs. And the Moonstone is going to be used so I can evolve my Nidorino to a Nidoking, so we are already at a Stage 3 evolution Pokemon. Another reason why Nidoking is really busted, and Nidoking is going to continue to get busted from here on out.
You don't learn any unnecessary moves while you're as a Nidoking, because fully evolved Something Stone pokes just tend to not learn moves. And then just a massive power spike. And the move pool is going to continue being just the craziest thing ever. And also just the typing of Nidoking is a poison type and a ground type, and that will come in handy every now and then. Early on, it's just honestly a curse, because there's a lot of moves that are just going to be terrifying because of the ground typing that you gain once you fully evolve, but the later the run goes, it can be pretty useful. But actually, that's not really true in this game. It's more of a... Also, you get a really decent crit rate as you...
Alright, so this is the point where it prays Helix? Just kidding.
Wait, no! No. Oh gosh, this run's gonna... It's gonna be a tough one now.
I got punished with an encounter already.
I'm telling you, this is gonna be a wild ride. I'm telling you.
Hey man, I saved 1 frame of text.
And then you lose, like, 2 steps of movement. And also a bonk, but honestly, I don't care about the bonk that much. In this game, it's actually pretty... You can buffer basically any item pickup when you're not bonking into it, but even then, whatever. Still negligible compared to the movement, and also the fact that you're going to get worse RNG because you chose not to praise it.
That was a good critical right there. That was not a one-hit KO right there.
I stand corrected, I guess.
All right, so this is new to Yellow. It's also in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee as well. But we got Jesse and James. So you might notice there's a missing Team Rocket trainer, and that gets replaced with Jesse and James in this game. And Jesse and James aren't very exciting at all. So
they just kind of show up, and they say some iconic lines from the anime, but
yeah.
They just kind of show up, get 1 shot, and leave.
Yeah, so we see them a total of 4. They appear 4 times in the game, but we only see them like 3 times.
Yeah. And they're all gonna be pretty unremarkable, unfortunately, but that's okay. The fact that they're in the game, and also, it makes, like, when you see red and yellow side by side, it makes some sections of the run look shorter because you have fewer trainers to fight, because you're only fighting Jesse and James, and it's not even done as a double battle, it's just done as a single battle, because double battles aren't a part of Pokemon quite yet in Gen 1. And now we're entering our HQ for a good amount of the run, and this is Cerulean City, home to the hardest gym in the run, but also we're not going to go there quite yet.
Yeah, if we go there right now, we're gonna get destroyed. So we just have to, and we have to go. Yeah. We have to go to the top anyway, so it's just worth it.
So just go save Bill now instead, and whatever.
Yeah. So first off, I'm gonna heal up because I have no horn attacks, so I need to get my horn attack PP up. And then I'm gonna grab this rare candy right here. So we now have 2 rare candies, and we're gonna use them at a very specific point later on. But then come up is the... you can technically call it the 3rd rival fight if you want to count the optional, but this is the 2nd rival fight that we do in the run. And the 2nd rival fight in a lot of Pokemon games tend to be very difficult because when you're just using 1 Pokemon, the 2nd rival fight like catches up with you in level. You're not really going to die in this fight, but what can happen is the rival in this game has 2 Pokemon that know Sand Attack, the Sandshrew and the Eevee. And Sand Attack
dictates a lot of what happens.
Sand Attack lowers your accuracy by 1/3, which is quite a huge spike in your stats.
Yeah, it goes to 67%.
That's a really good critical right there.
And the fight can get even worse if the Spearow had used Growl instead of Peck in this case, because, well, that makes it even harder to kill the Sandshrew, but here, everything's fine. So this fight is pretty free, and as you see, Mchan has taken very little damage, which means he's probably going to be able to go basically healless for now until probably, honestly, actually just the entire way until, like, until maybe Lavender City, if everything goes well. So we'll see what happens here.
That fight went really well, and now we're coming up to Nugget Bridge. So Nugget Bridge is a pretty big run killer in Red and Blue, because your Nidoking is lower leveled, and then also in Red and Blue we take advantage of a trick called Instant Text, where like all the text appears at once, but in Yellow it doesn't work that way. if we ever are in a situation where we have to heal, then we have the option to heal, unlike in Red and Blue.
Yeah, in Red and Blue, if you open up any sort of menu, kill instant text, which means for the sake of speed, you're basically just not going to heal. Whereas here, for one, Rival 2 is not going to deal nearly as much damage, so you're probably just going to be like 40s or in the 40s or 50s in your HP, and then you're also more likely to kill stuff because you're using Horn Attack at a higher level, whereas at a lower level in Red, you're using Mega Punch a lot, which is not 100% accurate. Technically, Horn Attack also isn't, but let's not mention that part until it might actually.
Yeah. The other thing to talk about is critical hits. So the way critical hits work in this game is it's determined by your Pokemon's base speed over
Your crit.
over what 256.
Something of that sort. That sounds about right.
Yeah, so in the case of Nidoking's base speed, Nidoking's base speed divided by 256, it equates to about a 1/6 chance to critical hit. So if you see critical hits happening more often for some Pokemon, then it's that's how critical hits work in this game.
Yeah, it gets very scary with a lot of pokes as you go deeper into the run, because generally, the later in the game you go, the better pokes get, which means the speed will generally get higher. Like, some really terrifying critical hitters include, I would say, Dugtrio. There's also a Raichu later on, just kind of as a preview of some of the fights that we'll see later on in the run. Mm-hmm. Misty has a Starmie as well. Ooh, you missed the range on the Ekans, dang. That's really rough. Yeah, you
so
can't get instant text in yellow.
Yeah, so the way ranges work is not every move does the same amount of damage. So in the case there, that wasn't guaranteed to one-shot. I just barely missed that.
It's a very good range. Ranges in this game are calculated out of like 39 values. So you see a lot of like, so max rolls are in like later gens, Gen 3 and onwards, it's 1 out of 16 to be a max roll, whereas here it's 1 out of 39 to be a max roll. So often when we get surprised by like one too many ticks of damage, we're just like, wow, we got like less than 3% chance. That's pretty rough. Also Mchan just learned like the best move in the game, especially at this stage of the game. That's Thrash. If you want to talk about it, go for it.
Yeah, so the way Thrash works is you don't have to suck the move every single time you use Thrash. It also does not. It only uses up one power point whenever you use it for the first time, and it goes for 3 to 4 turns. It is a 50% chance whether the 4th turn goes. So a lot of the strats that we do in this part of the run is as long as if we know we can defeat the trainer within 3 turns of Thrash, then we use Thrash. There is one fight later on, sometimes 2, where we have to rely on a 4-turn Thrash. And if you don't get the 4th turn, then it can be bad, but it's not that likely.
Yeah, and usually you're also at a high HP because you tend to be pretty high. You often are pretty high HP exiting Surge, and if you're at high enough HP, hitting yourself in confusion once or even twice is not a big deal at all. Like, if anything, it's closer to Red Bar, but you tend to not have to worry too much sometimes. But we'll see. We'll see when we get to that point of the run, because there's a very, very tough fight in the way before we even get to Surge. But for now, we get to do a lot of thrashing. This hiker coming up here has an Onyx that resists Thrash, but we're just going to use Double Kick instead, because we have that move as well. It's 2 shots. If you crit, it can be a range, it still can live.
This is actually the first point in the run where where depending on which route you're doing between Vaporeon and Flareon matters. Since I'm on the Flareon route, I fight the bottom hiker who has one Pokemon. If I was on the Vaporeon route, I would actually have to fight the top hiker who has 2 Pokemon. And the reason I would have to do that is because I need to make up experience, as I'm going to get less experience later on.
Oh, shoot, you got the crit range. Yo!
Yeah, that's really good.
Nice.
That Onyx knows Bind, and that could be bad.
Yeah. Bind is just the worst outcome there. It's not even close. And yeah, picking up the free Charmander there. That's the only free starter that we're going to pick up in this run, because Bulbasaur, I believe that has a Pokédex requirement behind it, and also Bulbasaur just isn't useful. And then Squirtle, it can be useful, but there's a free Lapras later on in the run that's better suited for the job that Squirtle would be taking on, so we just pass on the Squirtle in favor of Lapras instead. So Charmander is the only starter we get to choose in this game, in this run. And let's be real, my favorite starter out of Gen 1. Not even a question that it's better than Bulbasaur. Squirtle's really good too, but Charmander's better.
Okay, if you have if there's
like
like one donation, this would be then you can this would be a good time.
Hi, we have no donation at this time, but I do want to remind everyone that there is an incentive coming up at 3:20 a.m. Eastern Time. That's coming up in about an hour or so, a little more than an hour.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
Yeah, for Neptunia Reverse. It's a language bid war between English and Japanese. And so far, no one has made a bid on it, so if someone does, they can probably set the language for the game. Again, that's coming up at 3:20 a.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this run a bit interesting. I'm going to donate $4 per death. So hopefully I don't die too many times.
Fire there a little bit.
If anybody in chat wants to match me, go ahead. Alright, but anyway, so here's Bill. He's a Nidorino. And if you have Pikachu with you, then Pikachu's gonna wonder what this Nidorino is. So this alone makes it worth depositing Pikachu. Coming up is we're gonna go back to Cerulean City and take on the gym. So like I said, we could take it on the moment we got to Cerulean City, but we got absolutely destroyed. We would have been absolutely destroyed if we take on Misty right away, but now we're a bit stronger. Thanks, in very old Yellow runs, Misty was known to be the hardest fight to survive, because if you're not faster than Misty Starmie, then it would be really hard to survive. But thanks to Rng Manipulation, we actually outspeed Misty Starmie by exactly 1 point.
It's still, like, when we say it used to be the hardest fight, it's like, it used to be by far the hardest fight. It still probably is the hardest fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy in the sense that it's easy to execute, but to survive, it's hard.
Oh yeah, you click Thrash and you just hopefully win.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a spoiler for what that fight's gonna look like. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and as runners of the game, the both of us know, they definitely do go wrong a good amount of time. So we'll see what Misty has in store for us today. Could be, you did promise $4 per death, so in this case, Misty does have a cause to fight for, I guess.
Alright, definitely saving for
also,
Misty.
Also not the only fight he could die to, but if there's any that I would guess might cause deaths, Misty is definitely up at the top of my list. So let's see what happens here.
Do we have a moment?
After this fight.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. Here comes a Starmie.
Starry is free, but Starmie.
Oh, that's a really good critical. Okay, X defend, that's fine. We just win.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Don't take
without the
any
crit, without the crit, the X defend would have forced me to do a 4-turn thrash right there. If I didn't get the 4-turn thrash, I would have to swap out.
Yeah, I'd swap in like I don't know, Charmander, I guess.
Yeah, Charmander probably. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, like I said, it didn't look like anything, but it is very hard to survive that. Misty Starmie has Water Gun, Bubble Beam. Bubble Beam can speedfall you, and if Misty's if the Bubble Beam crits you and you get speedfall, then you just lose.
Yeah, a crit base is almost a full one-shot. Like you only really tank it if you took the center and you're at full HP, or you only. Whereas the Speedfall gives Starmie an extra turn, and even if Misty chooses to use that turn to X defend for whatever reason, still rough because you have to crit or get your 4 turn. Just terrifying all around. But
Yeah.
now we got a lot of free fights because, yeah, the Machop is free here. A couple of fights you use Thrash on, so yeah.
Yeah, this is a good time for a donation.
Yeah.
Well, we have a $5 donation from Stream All the Steam. It says awesome game and awesome charity. Donation can go to Runner's Choice.
Put it towards Japanese for Neptunia.
Oh shoot, okay. We have a new leader then, in that case. So if you want Neptunia in English, you now have a goal.
Alright, here's something fun that you can do here. Alright, so what I did there was a jingle skip. If you if you get the full restore right as you transition there, then it just skips the jingle. That only works if your trainer's name is 4 or less characters long. It will still play if you let the text box go long enough.
Yeah. The idea is just you've picked up the item too fast for the jingle to load, so it just gets skipped entirely. You can see that in some other item pickups throughout the run. Since the hidden item jingle takes forever, but if it gets skipped, well, you just don't hear it at all, and the item pickups become like pretty fast. In the forest, the Pidgeymnip is designed so that you can jingle skip the hidden potion in front of the bug catcher, for example. Didn't get to see that here, and that's okay. And the full restore is our main designated hidden item pickup. I think it can happen in some other spots, but it's the main one you're going to see. And coming up here, just finishing up this route, Eradicate has quick attack, but at 51 HP, you literally just can't die. So, another free fight, and then on to the boat.
So we got the TM for Dig from the Rocket Trainer earlier, and Nidoking can learn a bunch of different TMs, but for whatever reason,
Not Dig.
Nidoking is a ground type that cannot learn Dig, but he can in later generations, but not in this game. Otherwise, Nidoking would be more busted, but well, we just gotta make do.
It's a really good coverage move that, unfortunately, Nidoking doesn't get. It does learn Earthquake later on in the run, but it's too late for some of the fights that we would like to see it in. Jeez, that Dome Fossil in your inventory is cursed, you know that? The chop spray is terrifying.
Yeah, Gen 1 sprites are pretty funny.
There's some amazing Gen 1 sprites. Yeah, I got to see Golbat and Blue earlier today for the first time in and I've missed that Golbat so much. Also, teaching Bubble Beam right now to Nidoking, because for some reason, Nidoking can learn Bubble Beam and not Dig. And yes, I'm we're probably going to be using dig as the standard of weird moves that you can learn for the rest of the run, because it's just that important. But Bubble Beam is also a shake move, and it's going to be... It's our best move for a couple of Pokemon for the mid-game, most notably some Geodudes later on. We're going to be replacing Double Kick, because at this point, Double Kick has kind of outlived its usefulness, because we have Thrash as the best shake move, and now we have Bubble Beam to get rid of rock types that would normally resist Thrash. So we're going to be losing Double Kick quite soon.
Alright, so this rival fight is normally really annoying in red, but here it's really easy.
Yeah, he just one-shot everything.
In red, instead of a Spearow, your rival has a Pidgeotto that learns Stand Attack, and it's so annoying.
And an Ivysaur that doesn't actually die to Thrash. Yeah. Whereas here, you don't have to even use Thrash, because everything just dies. Sandshrew here dies to Bubble Beam, and then Eevee dies to Double Kick here, which is the last time we're going to use that move. So, swapping it over to slot 3 because it's easier to speech a move over slot 3 than slot 4. So, our move order is starting to line up perfectly, finally. With slot 1 Thrash, Horn Attack in slot 2, our upcoming move in slot 3 for the rest of the run, Bubble Beam in slot 4.
Yeah, that's another jingle skip right there. Skips the item animation if you have a...
Oh, HMO1, yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh.
And then coming up here, I don't normally do this in PB attempts, but this is an added safety in order to make the next fight, which is Lieutenant Surge, much easier. Normally, you would actually just leave the boat straight away, and Surge actually outspeeds you, but this fight is going to allow us to level up to level 28 after this fight, but then also behind him is a rare candy, which we're going to be using in order to get to level 29, and this has a ton of benefits on Surge and also the next part of the run.
So, shoutouts to the Gentle Mandy. Picking that up and hopping off the boat. So, let's all wish the SSN a nice old goodbye.
Okay.
My boat. A little bit of a tradition I've picked up from my Fire and Leaf Green racing days. Which, over on the side, by the way, the Fire and Leaf Green tournament is going on in full swing.
Alright, so we left the SSN now. We cannot go to the SSN anymore. And,
Can't pick up Mew!
Alright, so we're now going to go to the fan club, everybody's favorite.
Oh, yeah. My favorite was Ponyta. It's like so adorable, and it's like, yeah.
My favorite Rapidash. Cute, lovely, smart, plus amazing. You think so? Oh, yes, it's stunning. Kindly love it. Hug it when sleeping warm and cuddly. Spectacular, ravishing. Oops, look at the time.
I said Ponyta. I was close. We'll see you at Rapidash later on in the run. It shouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay.
In red, you would get the bike voucher usually after you do the gym, but because you would just dig right out. But in this game, you can't even dig out of the fan club, so just getting the extra safety of just grabbing the bike voucher now, why not? No biggie.
Alright, trash can time. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Trash cans in yellow. It's better to just
are we getting god cans? Hey!
Jeez. So, cans in yellow are, to put it nicely, extremely broken. When you find one can, there's a very high know where the second can is for literally every combination. At worst, it's 50%. And usually it's more of a 75 or 7, so it's just faster on average to not save and minute the cans and just go in and just get lucky. And that's exactly what happened here, so you love to see it. Here's Surge. He has Raichu because we're going off the anime rules. So it has Mega Kick and Mega Punch. Neither of those moves are 100% accurate. And it also is not going to necessarily use those moves, so Raichu can deal all sorts of numbers of different damage rolls to you. In this case, 0.
Yeah.
Which is definitely an amount of damage you can take.
And without the extra levels, that can sometimes be a 4-turn fight, which can be bad.
Because Growl does change the number of turns it takes to kill the Raichu. I think my PV got Growl like turn 1, but got a crit, so it just was a 2-turn fight anyways.
Yeah, that
example. So, yeah. Taking no damage. Sometimes, like, Raichu has a chance to kill you from full when you don't use Gentle Mandy, because, well, Mega Kick can crit and deal like 60 damage, I believe.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty bad. It's a lot.
Like, I think I had one Surge fight where it went from 91 HP to 1. I still won, but I immediately died to this fight coming up here, and that's the 4-turn Thrash Girl, because I was at 1. So, this fight here, she has 4 pokes, and you have to kill the first poke with Thrash, so we get to just go ahead and bank on getting a 4-turn. And because I've hyped up this fight so much, I'm fairly sure it's just going to be a 4-turn Thrash. And
okay, fingers crossed.
Though, but then again, you chose the Dome Fossil, so all bets are off, I would say.
Dome Fossil's giving me good luck, man. I took 0 damage on Surge. And God Cans. I never get God Cans in runs.
Fair enough, okay. You know
Can I
what,
just,
you
like,
do have a point.
Can I just, like, submit this run over my current PB?
If you PB, honestly, you might. I don't know.
No, I can't.
Not with that attitude.
Alright, here we go. This is the moment of truth.
Final turn.
Alright, then we got it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's fine. You got this. So yeah, the extra level that you get from the Gentle Mandy is also gonna show up a lot on the split, like heading into Rock Tunnel and then also inside of Rock Tunnel. Multiple ranges with Thrash are no longer 3 ranges because you're getting extra levels. So I think this Venonat might be one of those cases.
Yes, you would Bubble Beam first in order to ensure that you're not relying on a 4-turn Thrash, and then also, like, the Venonat is usually a range, but with these extra levels, the Venonat is no longer a range, so you have no chance of dying from confusion.
And then I think from here, this is like a fairly good time for announcements or anything.
Yeah, this is a very long stretch with fights.
Well, we do have a donation from Rooman the Envy.
Okay.
Says,
Okay.
good cause. Sorry I couldn't give more. Donated $5. And I would like to let them know that they have provided 50 meals for kids, because No Kid Hungry turns each dollar into 10 meals for kids. So, this person might not have been able to donate more, but they definitely donated plenty.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's actually going to be it for me tonight. I will be back tomorrow, same time. Thank you for providing me some great entertainment tonight. Mchan Place. I really appreciated it. And I want to remind everyone that you are the reason that someone smiles every day. Today it was me.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you so
Good night.
much, man. Have a nice night.
Alright, so Rock Tunnel is the only
Are you navigating it?
It's a really dark area. You're normally supposed to use Flash, which you get by going across Diglett's cave, which I did go into briefly, but it's too far out of the way. Also, you need 10 Pokemon. I don't have 10 Pokemon, so I can't get Flash anyway. And so we just have to go through this place. I mean, it's not really blind because you can see the walls.
You can see the walls. There's no trainers that are moving all over the place, so you know exactly where they're going to be beforehand. So here's the Oddish girl. The Oddish isn't even in range. Oh my gosh. Gentlemanity takes all the fun out of the game sometimes. You know that?
Yeah, so normally the Oddish or the Bulbasaur can sometimes survive Thrash, and if that happens, then you can get Stun Spored or Sleep Powdered, and
Sleep Powder, yeah.
And it's a mess. So what I did there was I used a Repel while I still had a Repel, and that just skips the Repel tax. You can do that only in Gen 1. In every other generation, you can't use the Repel while you still have the Repel active.
Yeah. You have to wait for the Repel War Off text box, and then starting from, I believe, Black 2, White 2, they'll finally give you the option of just, while telling you the Repel War Off, giving you the option to reapply. But none of that is fun when you can just go ahead and menu and just Repel again. Because you don't need all, like, what is it, 200 steps of each Repel? At least not here, so you can just go ahead and Repel early, cancel some of that, and just refresh.
And it is, if you're really, really bold, which I'm sure no one is ever gonna be this bold, but it is technically faster to skip repels if you get 0 encounters here. But who would ever be crazy enough to do that?
I don't know. There's this guy that I know, the Ass guy. You know, pretty good at the game, I would say.
Yeah, so we just get repels. It's a lot more consistent, and instead of having to like manipulate 0 encounters in Rock Tunnel. It would be very miserable if we had to do that. Alright, so that was the last trainer of Rock Tunnel right there. As you can see, I was moving very specifically throughout Rock Tunnel because there are like maybe 6 places where if you're like a tile off, then you're hitting an optional trainer.
Sightlines are well defined, even though they probably can't see either in the dark. They can sense you with like echolocation or something of that sort, you know.
Yeah.
Now we're fighting the gambler. Oh my gosh.
The gamer.
Gambling. It's a gamer in Fire Leaf and onwards, but for now in Gen 1 is something else. In general, it's still the gambler. It gives you a lot of money, so no complaints at all. Also, moving Bubble Beam to slot 1, Thrash will just be pocketed in slot 4 for a decent amount of time. I'm going to be teaching over Bubble Beam here, though. So, say goodbye to that move quite soon.
Hopefully I get this. This is a pretty tough hidden item. There's not really a good visual cue.
Yeah, you just have to rely on...
Did I pass it? Okay, no. Okay.
Or your bike pedals.
Same difference. Alright. So we got that elixir, which we're going to be using in order to regain our power points, because from here on out, our PowerPoint management starts to become pretty important. But here's the... But now here we are, the biggest point of Pokemon speedruns is shopping!
Biggest power spike in this run, and there's quite a few, because here in the mart you get a lot of really powerful items.
And all the items that we're buying, we are going to be using all of them throughout the course of the run.
Yeah. getting repels, super repels, so you don't have to use as many to cover as much ground. Super potion, it's TMO 7, which is the best move in the game, combined with another item that we're about to pick up and buy. Here's the Pokédoll, which gets
Why did I buy that?
The famous item, the Pokédoll. Getting through the game by just being there and keeping you safe. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Picking up fresh water and a soda pop to turn into this girl on this top floor on the balcony, because she likes drinks and she's going to give you TMs to give you different drinks that she hasn't had yet. So you're getting Ice Beam for the fresh water, Rock Slide for the soda pop. Rock Slide is... To put it nicely, Rock Slide is a move. And we just went ahead and buy another drink for the road, because who knows who might need a drink when you're just kind of traveling out in the world. So buying some X items, some X attacks, X speeds, X specials, and the best item, the X accuracy.
So X items are used in Pokemon speedruns. They're used because like we only like fight mostly optional fights or mostly required fights, and which as a result tends to make us underleveled. So we use the X items to kind of make up for lost stats. Yeah, or setting up to overcome some bad type matchups. Also keeping up with a level curve that we're probably not going to keep up with in most Pokemon runs. There's some where you do, because of various boosted experience points or whatever. Here we're doing the flat menu. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, I kind of messed up there. Usually it's faster to improvise that, but it's not worth it. Usually, like, when you know, when you do the run enough times, you usually know where your items are going to be at. So if you, like, swap the wrong item, then it kind of messes with your head. Yeah. So here, Nidoking's learning Rock Slide, which is a move, and then Horn Drill, which is the best move in the game. And then also swapping some items around the bag. For example, the X accuracy will be now permanently, more or less permanently, being in slot 3 in our inventory for the rest of the run. Teaching Fly while we're at it, using some really buffer moves to just get through that fly map really fast. Which you can't really do in Red and Blue, but you can in Yellow. The idea is you want items that you're going to be using a lot near the top of your menu. It's faster than just like scrolling all the way down just to use those items and then use them. Oh no, he used Growl. Let's use Horn Drill here. Oh no. Oh my god, it's a one-hit KO. So, yeah. Horn Drill is a move that is a one-hit KO as long as it hits. For it to hit, you have to be... or to even have a chance to hit, you have to be faster than your opponent. Well, we're going to make sure we're always faster, whether we're using speeds or just naturally outspeeding the game. And using an X accuracy removes the accuracy check. So Horn Drill would no longer be like 30% accurate. You're just going to hit and one-shot everything as long as you, provided that you outspeed it. Yeah, and this is also this rival fight is the first rival fight where your rival is going to have a different team now. So this is the point where whether or not you have Flareon or you're on the Vaporeon or the Flareon route starts to matter, because in the Vaporeon route he will have a Vulpix instead of a Shelter, which gives off less experience. Yeah, and it does affect like one really important
level threshold that you see in quite a few yellow runs. Don't know if it matters in this one.
Since I got the extra experience from the gentleman, no. But
yeah,
but without the gentleman EXP, it does matter, which is why you want to fight the top hiker earlier on past the bridge.
So rock slide hitting here. Would love to see it.
Yeah, rock slide is 90% accuracy, is 90% accurate, so I do have a chance to miss. And we use rock slide a total of 4 times.
4 times, yeah. So this is where Nato King not learning dig comes into play, because otherwise you just use dig on these gas lanes. But instead we're using rock slide. Can be very terrifying if you're at really low HP. Right now, we're not at risk of dying. If we get confused or nightshaded or whatever, it's fine. So, also, speaking of fine, just gonna go ahead and get a free heal here, because it's actually just strictly slower to not take it because there's an optional.
Yeah,
that guards the way.
The optional has a haunter, and the haunter is scary.
Yeah. There are some YOLO strats, and like especially red, where you just fight the hunter anyways, but it's just strictly not worth it.
Yeah. Something else that you're seeing me do is I'm actually talking to the trainers, and it skips the exclamation mark, and it saves like 1 or 2 seconds each time. If I can talk to the trainers as opposed to letting them see me, and then sometimes walk to me.
Yeah.
Like that trainer right there. That trainer is not even a tile away, so it's worth it. Rare candy is mandatory. I would pick it up anyway because it's really good for.
Just so good of an item, yeah.
Yeah.
And fire
oh wait, I don't have the Sylph Scope.
Let's go. It gets the rare candy is moved like a little bit out of the way, but yeah, you're still gonna grab it.
Okay, so
there are
some people might not be happy with that. What is this guy doing? He said glitchless.
So, regardless of whether you think it's a dubious explanation or not, it was mentioned in like the game devs for game dev, like I think bug reports, or for yellow. So it is like actually kind of a game design error to just keep it in line with the Pokédoll skip from red and blue. But if you don't believe it, or if you still think it's a glitch, I can't really convince you otherwise.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the only sequence break of the game. That actually skips the entire Celadon
Rocket Hideout
entirely, which you actually might be noticing. The game up until now has been relatively straightforward, but this is the point of the run where the game starts to open up quite a bit. As you might notice, I actually did not take on Erica of the Celadon Gym. And right now our moveset's not good enough to take on Erica, so we just take on Erica later. Another Jesse and James fight, again, not exciting, and then we get the Pokemon Flute, which we're not going to be using right away, right now.
Yeah, you can use it to wake up any sort of sleeping Pokemon, including overworld sleeping Pokemon. But we're not going to be approaching anything that's sleeping anytime soon, because we're going to go stop by. We're going to stop by the Sylph Company building in Saffron City, and we're going to go pay some good friends a visit. Or, well, they're supposed to be good friends, but we didn't see them in Rocket, so we're just going to go beat the snot out of Team Rocket, knock them, and kick them out of the building.
Yeah, give this fresh water to this guard. He said he's gonna share it to the other guards. It's a little bit unsanitary, but
Oh yeah.
Alright, so here we are in Sylph Company. You're normally supposed to take this on much later. So The trainers here are going to be a bit high level because of that.
But yeah, we do have a very good move and a very good item to take care of it, so it's not a big deal. Takes a couple of items, but with the help of some X accuracies and an X speed, we can just go ahead and hard drill everything. So the first one is this choke. This is also an optional, but it guards one of our final moves. Excuse me, one of our final moves as well, and that's Earthquake. So we just go ahead and grab it now, and then teach it for the rest of self.
Yeah, Earthquake is so useful that it is worth fighting this trainer just to get Earthquake.
Yeah, there have been various routes in this game where you just don't do this fight, and instead pick up Earthquake after you clear out Team Rocket, but in the end it's just fine to do this, it's just worth it. Like, there was a route that was like the route for maybe like 2 days, I think, back like a year and a half ago, I want to say. But we're back to fighting this optional, and it's worth it, so no complaints.
Okay, so we're going to teach Earthquake right now. Also use the Carbos that I picked up as well in order to raise our base speed, which saves having to use some X speeds. And then at this point, you want to be level 34 in order to set yourself up to using these rare candies. So I'm just gonna use those rare candies right now to be level 36 earlier than, I mean, slightly earlier, but this is the point where the Gentleman EXP starts to kind of fall apart.
The higher level you get, the less like an individual experience point starts to matter, and like various things like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to start evening out on experience.
So right there, that's where that's the first benefit of Earthquake right there. Otherwise,
Yes,
you probably have to
that
either
Arbok
Thrash or X accuracy and Horn Drill. And that Arbok has Glare, which can paralyze you.
Yeah, and in this game you don't actually buy paralyze heals because, well, you're not gonna get paralyzed by a whole lot of anything. And coming up here is the Sylph Rival. This is our first rival fight where we have a fully evolved evolution, and because we lost, or no, we won one fight, technically lost the other of our introductory rival fights. We're getting Flareon here, which is kind of the medium difficulty evolution that the game assigns to us, because the rival was programmed by the game to kind of like assume you're still using Pikachu. So Pokemon Yellow is based off the Pokemon anime, so they think you're fighting with the Pikachu, which means Jolteon is the hard level, and and Vaporeon is easy level. And well, ironically for this speedrun, Vaporeon is hard mode, and well, Jolteon is just literally never going to happen. By the way, this fight is very easy, so nothing too crazy to say. Just gonna clear out the rival. Can take a very variable amount of damage because of the Sand Slash, because you're setting up, but even slash critical as Mchan got still won't really put us close to death, so
Yeah.
no worries to be had.
Also, this is another rival movement manipulation. The rival would have to move all the way around me if I just went straight to the left. I took an extra tile, so that way he can go straight to that teleporter.
Yeah. And also, going ahead and pick up the Lapras that I mentioned about earlier. Lapras learns the move Surf and Strength, and so can Squirtle, but Lapras is just a better option because you don't have to teach either of those moves above anything, over anything that Lapras already knew, because it only comes with 2 moves, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And also,
Whereas
Squirtle's a few
3.
tiles out of the way as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wait. Actually, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Alright, last Jesse and James fight. Yeah, nothing much to say.
Yeah, Earthquake is just a move.
There is something that we didn't talk about at all, and that is the Gen 1 miss. And that is an equals error where you have every move has a 1 in 256 chance of missing, unless you use an X accuracy, then you can't miss.
The accuracy check isn't altogether skipped. Yeah. But either way, blasting off Jesse and James from Team Rocket for the last time in run. So, hope you enjoyed their nice brief little cameo in the game and run. And now we're going to go ahead and fight Giovanni. He thinks we're some old repeat customer or something, like some nuisance. Though because we skipped Rocket Hideout, we've never actually met this guy before.
Yeah, who is this guy, man?
It's a bit of a creepy mafia boss guy. Really well dressed.
Oh, that's a very good range right there.
You know. Oh shoot, yo. Let's see it. That version can be super annoying if you don't kill it, because it is fast and it also has I think it has ground. No, actually,
it has a slash and it can sometimes use Payday, which is an extra text box.
Oh yeah, Payday. Yeah, we're done with Self now, so
yeah.
Now that we've done more or less everything we wanted to, now we can go ahead and wake up the Snorlax west of Celadon, and by doing that, we're gonna go ahead and open up a lot of the game. We're gonna go to Fuchsia City, go to the Safari Zone for a quick little breather, I guess, and then off to the races.
Okay. And we're going to Super Potion because I took more damage than I'd like to.
Oh yeah. Oof.
And then we're gonna use the Poke Flute. Gonna wake up the Snorlax. And I don't have any Pokeballs, so I'm just gonna run away from it. Not gonna catch it.
Technically, it does learn Strain,
Yeah, it does.
but it's just a bad catch rate. It's a fun meme strat. You have the Master Ball and I don't know, Fire Leaf Green. You can actually pick up the Master Ball in this game as well, but you just dig out. The
we already have
Ball's
we already have the best Pokemon in the game. Oh, so this is the point where you can actually take your hands off the controller. As you can see, I don't have my hands on the controller at all because you actually move down automatically.
Hands. Yeah, and Fire Leaf Green get the same thing, but it's still faster to hold down. No reason in the game. Speeds you down the hill faster or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But here it doesn't do anything, so you just take your hands off, get a nice little drink of water, relax, just have a good time.
Also, if I was on the Vaporeon route, there's a hidden power point up that I have to get, and I would actually have to use it on Horn Drill because there's a fight, particularly the Viridian rival fight, where you have to use all 6 Horn Drills. But because I'm on Flareon, I can skip that power point up entirely.
Spar Zone, it's nothing to really care about because we're just going to repel through it and not catch any pokes. But it is required for the story because you need to pick up the Surf HM, which is the grand prize for getting through the Safari Zone before anybody else does, so it's gonna go ahead and go get Surf. Also picking up this nice little flower store along the way, because it's only like one step out of the way or something of that sort. Actually, two.
Yeah, something like that. Either way, it's pretty good to have.
Also, you're using another repel because, unfortunately, one repel is not enough for all of the Safari Zone. I'm just gonna go ahead and head on through, and then pick up these gold teeth, as well as the Surf HM that I mentioned earlier.
And we're gonna dig out of here because this is all that we need to do.
Yeah, one of the few, like, dungeons, I guess, that you can go ahead and dig out of, and in red, you can dig out of, like, multiple buildings, but here you just dig out of this, and, like, Diglett's Cave, which is still faster than taking the Walk of Shame back to Cerulean City.
Alright, so this is the, in case you haven't noticed, this is the longest stretch in the game of not doing any gym leaders. But we're finally gonna take on the gym after like an hour or so. We're gonna take on the hardest one. Yeah. Oh wait, Randall, I forgot to save.
What? No. I'm on a delay. How could you? Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so Sabrina has a type advantage over you, so
The level 50. Oh my god.
Wait. Oh shh.
Okay, it's using Flash. It missed. Okay, that's good.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot that it's actually level 50 in this game.
Okay, so jokes aside, we win from here. It's actually this is actually the easiest fight. The easiest fight in the game because you cannot lose this because the Abra only knows Flash, and Sabrina could also use an X defend as well. So
it doesn't matter, you still kill it.
We take advantage of the fact that the Abra only knows Flash by just setting up X accuracy and X speed. So yeah, you cannot lose this fight unless you're pseudo trainer.
What? It's a story that man, I haven't heard some of the stories. Okay.
Apparently, pseudo trainer is known for losing the Sabrina.
So yeah, easiest fight in the game. The one gym badge where literally nothing can go wrong. Erica, actually, well, yeah, no, you can Gen 1 miss and go through shenanigans if you do, but there's only a few fights where the win rate is like literally 100%, and Sabrina's one of those, because you're using an X accuracy anyways. So you don't even have to worry about Gen 1 missing, snowballing into, like, who knows what. Here we're entering Koga's gym. The Koga fight is definitively not so free, even though you are using the exact same items that you do against speed, X accuracy. But first we're going to go through a couple of jugglers, using Earthquake or Thrash or whatever we have. Get through these drowsies and like whatever other psychic types that the jugglers have. This is the one use of Thrash that we have. This is the reason why it was in slot 4 for so long, because it's just faster to thrash down 3 Pokemon than it is to click Earthquake 3 times. And if you know that you're getting a 4-turn Thrash, so if you're a task basically, you can just go ahead and click Thrash, not even use Earthquake a single time on this first juggler here. Juggler 2 here is plenty scary in red, because you often enter this fight in red bar when you're going for like really solid times. So, but here, green bar, over 100 HP. So, not a big deal here. but Koga.
Okay, poison gas is good right there. It takes 0 damage.
So the Koga fight, let's see, what can I remember? What can I say about it?
So Koga has 3 Venonats as well as a Venomoth, and they all know psychic moves. So you this is a free fight in red, but in this game not so much, which is why I did a save there. I have to set up on 2 different Venonats, which all give me turns to use psychic moves.
Psychic or sleep powder.
If I get crit and special fall, then I cannot win. So I'm going to set up X accuracy on this first Venonat and then Horn Drill it, and then I'm going to use an X speed on the second Venonat, and that's because the first Venonat has sleep powder, which loses time. If I get sleep powder, I have to spend a turn waking up the Nidoking, which is more turns for the Venonat to kill me. But we're fine now, so yeah, we just win from here. Look at the poison Pokemon at the poison gym. Okay, there we go. I actually managed my items very specifically because I forgot to mention it in the last gym later, but you want to have exactly 20 items because that's the maximum amount of bag space that you have in order for gym leaders to not give you their TMs. We don't use their TMs at all. So.
Yeah. After Surge, use the Bulb Beam and Thunderbolt TMs, but after that you just don't use any of them. So best to not get the TMs. The worst TM to pick up, the most dialogue is actually Brock's TM, the Bide TM, but there's nothing you can do about it. You literally can't fill up your bag up to that point, so you have to get that item. But outside of that, you don't actually need to get TMs if you do things right or wrong. But you do want Surge and Misty's TMs, and you don't want any of the other ones. Also, shoutouts to Mom. Shoutouts to Mom. Full heal, full HP, and full PP for literally no items, so pretty nifty deal if you ask me. And also teaching Ice Beam to Nidoking, which is going to be... So now our moveset is actually just full-on complete. Earthquake, Horn Drill, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam. We're not going to be teaching any more moves to Nidoking for the rest of this run. But we will teach some moves to Lapras, so going ahead and doing that right now.
So in the most optimum route of this game, you would actually skip getting Ice Beam and instead get Blizzard, which is in the next dungeon, Pokemon Mansion. And Blizzard is a little bit faster than Ice Beam, but it's also really risky because Blizzard's at 90% accuracy versus Ice Beam's quote-unquote 100% accuracy. So you can't miss, and in a lot of places where you want to use Blizzard, if you miss Blizzard, then you're probably going to die.
Yeah. The game difficulty in yellow is pretty high, unironically, so... Also, here in the mansion, there are some Pokemon that do not get repelled away. They are, thankfully, pretty rare, so...
It's a 5% chance of getting encounter. Repels only prevent Pokemon that are lower level than you from encountering. So I do have a 5% chance of getting an encounter here. Like that.
Yeah. Well. Shoutouts to Raticates around the world.
Oh my god. So right there, that's the Blizzard TM, that item ball. But we're not gonna pick it up.
These encounters all over the place. But otherwise, just going ahead and hitting some switches to get through the rest of the mansion to grab the secret key, which is the key that unlocks Blaine's gym. There's a nice little item ball, rare candy, but... wait. You know what? That's actually a good Raticate encounter. You want to know why?
Why?
Because you can jingle skip the secret key. Wait, maybe not. I don't know. Was it too long of the text?
You actually can. I just didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't anticipate it.
Yeah, no. It's not something you think of very often because you just don't get that encounter.
Yeah.
Easy game. Anyways, we're heading to Blaine. At full HP, there's still things that can go wrong with this fight, so I won't say it's full-on free.
Yeah. The only thing to talk about here is I'm not saying yes to every single question. So other than that, I think this will be a good time to read maybe like 1 or 2 donations.
If we have anyone around, maybe not, and that's okay.
No?
I'll make some comments of my own about this gym here. So the quiz machines, I'm sure many of you know that Poliwag does not evolve 3 times. Pokemon just don't do that. But in Yellow, this is like the one game where these quiz machines aren't like repeating the same old blurb over and over again. The blurb being, get this question right and get the trainer, get this question wrong and fight that trainer. Wow, get the question right. I don't know what the actual blurb is. Here in the game, in this game, it's just Pokemon quiz, test your knowledge. Question number, blah blah blah. So, side blaning here. And Blaine, we're going to be setting up an X attack here. Depending on what HP you're going into this fight, like older versions of the route, you might do it on the Ninetales here, or you might do it on the Rapidash. But Rapidash has Growl, so we'll see what happens. Or I will. I'm on a slight delay.
So the Rapidash can either use Stomp, can use Growl, or it can use Fire Spin. Which Fire Spin is the one that you don't want to see. Yeah, Fire Spin is really frustrating. But Growl also lowers your attack. But at +1 attack, you actually just kill the Argon. So not seeing Growl is also pretty nice. Now, is it better than Fire Spin? I don't know. It depends on whether you have the time to spare. Yeah, it depends. Because even if you do get growled, you can just crit down. And that definitely kills, so... yeah. We'll see. Anyways, heading on to Erica, now that we have Blaine's badge, the Volcano badge, which actually boosts your special. And we also have Ice Beam as well, which means you have a very accurate move that should kill stuff as well, so Erica's gym at this point in the run is like very, very close to free, barring like Gen 1 miss shenanigans. Yeah, and I don't think we've gotten a single one yet, so... I do mean yet! Yeah, there are unfortunately many opportunities to miss still. Yeah, you can choose to do the gym badges in this game in almost any order. Like, the only real requirements are, Brock is the first gym badge that you need to get, Misty is the second one you need to get, because you need Cut to, like,
actually get out of that section of the run, or even access Surge's gym. But like from there, you can do the gym badges in like almost any order. You do need Koga's badge to surf over to Cinnabar Island, I guess. So you can't do Blade before Koga, and then well, actually, there is an 8th gym that you have to do as the 8th gym. We've actually passed by it a couple of times because it's in Viridian City, but the gym owner leader was not there at that point, so we haven't fought that gym yet. But we're gonna go over and check and see if there's someone standing guard, I guess. I don't know. Oh my gosh. There is.
Have you accidentally went one tile over and hopped down that ledge, and you have to go around the gym again?
Oh yeah, the bike of shame.
Never done it before, but...
I can't say the same thing on my end.
Alright, so there's a lot of trainers here. What's interesting about this gym is that this is actually a variety gym, but the gym leader himself uses ground-type Pokemon. They're gonna be seeing a bunch of different type of Pokemon, but we're going to only fighting 2 trainers. This next trainer coming up is...
Terrifying in red.
In red is sometimes scary. It's like only a 25% chance to go wrong, but we have so much health that we don't really have to worry about it. The worst that could happen is if I was at full HP, then the Machop could Karate Chop crit me, and I have to heal before Giovanni, which I got the crit there, so now I have to heal. I mean, I think I have to heal anyway.
Yeah,
but,
you definitely have to heal regardless.
Yeah. But yeah.
Is this? You've taken a lot of damage in this section. Normally don't take this much, but...
I wonder if I should full restore.
Yeah, I would just full restore. Does feel like a little bit of a bummer once you get to the Elite Four, but probably that.
Yeah. Normally in PB attempts, I would like try to use like maybe a super potion and a potion if I was in that situation, because you want to have 2 full restores going into the Elite Four, but in Marathon, I think I'm just gonna go with the full restore.
Yeah, you can buy them at the Elite Four. There's also one hidden in Victor Row. So we're going ahead and exiting and re-entering the gym, because doing that is gonna reset the positions of the trainers that we just fought, so we don't have to take a single warp tile on our way to Giovanni.
Whoa.
Turns out he's the one that's in charge of this gym. So he's back in Viridian training up because we went ahead and knocked him off his high horse while he was in Team Rocket. So now this fight is actually like terrifying. This is by far the hardest Giovanni fight in the run. This Doug trio has Earthquake.
Earthquake or Dig. Okay, it goes for Earthquake. Please live!
Oh,
this is a 20% chance to crit. Okay, we live. Alright, that's good.
Alright.
So, it's not over yet. I still have to get... His next Pokemon's a Sand Slash, and it can slash crit me. Okay, it goes for Double Team. Let's use Horn Drill.
Oh, well, okay,
oh wow.
Wow. That was easy.
Okay, so from here on out, I just win.
Yeah, this fight's done. So, I'm drilling away, and goodbye, Giovanni.
Man, I'm so sorry, No Kid Hungry, that, I mean...
Hey, you're saying that now, you still can die. Like, there's still, what is it? 6 fights to go in the run, I believe?
Yeah.
And not all of them are totally free, so... Who knows what can happen.
Yeah, so this is
so far the Dome Fossil hasn't cursed you yet, but...
This is the part of the run that we call a Crit Gauntlet, because you're not gonna die unless you get crit.
Yeah, and there's plenty of pokes that have, like, really solid crit rates, so... and are dealing a lot of damage regardless of whether they're critting or not. So there's that like little bit of dread whenever your HP bar is draining that no, my run's dead. Ah, dang. But so far so good. So far.
Let's see. Do I need to heal? I'm gonna do it.
Potion. Yeah, something like that.
Alright, and then what else I need to swap? X attack with... Oh, oops, wrong item. Where I need to go? Okay, right here. Okay. And... Arvos. Okay. That menu should be fine. It's a little bit out of place, but that's actually fine.
Every time you like consume all of the entirety of some stack in your bag, your cursor resets back to the top. So that's what using that Carbos was meant to do there. Both increase your speed and also move the cursor back up to the bicycle. Another way to reset the cursor is to just go into a battle and exit it. So that's part of why the bike has been at the top of this bag for over an hour to this point, because it's just that important. And anytime you want to hop back on the bike, it's just not going to be your cursor is going to be at the top of your bag.
Also, it was a good thing that I used the super potion instead of a regular potion, otherwise that would have definitely been a death there.
Wait, really? No, it would have been at like 13 HP, but yeah, the super potion is fine, whatever. Coming up after this fight, by the way, is Victory Road. It's another region where there are pokes that outlevel Mchan here, so he's going to use a repel, and it will repel most of the things in Victory Road, but might not repel everything out.
This dialogue coming up is kind of ironic here. He says he's ready for the Elite Four, even though we just destroyed him, and then he tells us, and then he tells us that we need more practice, which I don't know. Maybe I do. I'm not with the top runners, so maybe I do need more practice.
Not quite. You know what? Gary Oak, whatever the rival is named, and whatever runs and whatever. I guess he is the best speedrunner of all time. Like, takes time out of his life to just make fun of us and lose to us, but still gets to Elite Four faster than us, gets to the route before the Victory Road. Like, he gets everywhere before we do, and we're just behind the ball the entire time. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and surf on the water here. There is a hidden max ether inside the water, but you don't tend to grab it too often. Sometimes you do if you're like...
If I was higher
really
HP, then I would have gotten that in an attempt to skip the Indigo Plateau Center.
Yeah, but unfortunately 43 HP I believe you're at right now.
Yeah.
It's just not good enough because, well, the first fight in the Elite Four tends to deal like 80-90-ish damage. So, entering Victor Road here, pushing a couple of boulders. In yellow, these boulders are very laggy, so y'all are going to see that firsthand here. When you see like a side-by-side comparison of red and yellow, these boulders, it is night and day. Just how much faster the red one go. On this floor, you don't really see it that much because, well, what is it? Because there aren't too many sprites on this floor that are loaded, but you're going to see it on, I believe, the next floor.
Dodge the tricky trainer.
Oh gosh. Little sort of tight movement there. I think you have like 1 or 2 tiles of leeway, I believe.
Yeah, you can go 1 more tile up.
But yeah, as you see, this boulder is very slow, and there's only a couple of boulder pushes to be had there, and it still takes very long. Coming up here is this boulder that you just kind of hold left and push for an eternity. And yeah, it's a long stretch of boulder. So if we have any announcements or anything of that sort, otherwise, please keep supporting No Kid Hungry, and yeah, enjoy the sights and sounds of this one boulder getting pushed over to a switch, I believe. That's gonna open up the rest of Victory Road. Bit of a calm before the storm, I would say. Though there are some, though on really good pace, or like really like tight pace especially, this can be a very frustrating section of the run. So what Mchan is doing here, by the way, with the boulder pushing, he's trying to pull off a fairly tight trick. It's called the swag boulder, where you push the boulder, but then you buffer a weird direction, so then the game turns you, and when it plays the animation of like the boulder getting pushed, it just pushes off to the middle of nowhere. The like dust cloud, I believe. So like you get to see it very often in like TASes, because TASes often use that as like a speed entertainment type of trade-off to like pass some frames and get through Victory Road without any counters, but also just to give viewers a nice little laugh as the player just goes ahead and showers like some random optional with dust. Also, we're depositing everything in our party because we don't need them anymore.
And you can't box heal in this generation, unlike in later games. Alright, so I'm gonna buy full restores here. Normally I don't really do this because it's like slower, but
yeah. Normally you also
marathon.
have enough that you picked up just along the way. But, you know, like, now you have 8 full restores, I believe.
Yeah,
That's
8.
That's gonna be more than enough. So here's Lorelei.
Alright, so Lorelei has a pretty specific AI, where, well, in Red and Blue, it's always, you always,
has her own AI class.
always rest turn 2, but here, it's, you can, Lorelei either does Bubble Beam, Aurora Beam, or rest. Bubble Beam and Aurora Beam are bad because you have a chance to get Speedfall, and if you get Speedfall, then you have to do a pretty risky strat on Agatha later on.
Yeah, that's just Bubble Beam only. Aurora Beam, I think that one like lowers attack, but when
No, it
you're
lowers
using...
speed as well.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, regardless, like, as long as you just don't get any sort of shenanigans with drops, then, well,
Blah, blah, blah,
he's
blah, blah,
work
blah,
real.
blah.
Shoutouts to Kizaron. Anyways, this fight is over, so we're heading over to Bruno. Bruno can actually deal damage, so it's not an entirely free fight, but it's not that bad. So we do need to refill our horn drills because we used them all on Lorelei, so we're just gonna go ahead and use the elixir right now. And and then head over to Bruno.
I also moved the full restore to slot 1, so that way I can use full restores right away if I need to heal.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna set up on Hitmonchan, and Hitmonchan has Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and Ice Punch. Ice Punch can freeze, Fire Punch can burn.
Generally, they're not going to deal too much damage because they're all special moves.
We use Double Team, so we're gonna just Horn Drill.
That's fine. The main concern with Bruno is often just making sure you actually click Horn Drill instead of, like, I don't know, Earthquake.
Yeah, and I actually have an extra elixir, so I could, if that happens, I can just use the elixir.
Yeah, there is like some spare PP. The main Horn Drill is the main move that determines when you're using your elixirs, or if you picked up the Max Ether, that one as well. But there are Agatha, for example, can drain PP, so there's all sorts of things that can happen. So, speaking of Agatha, she's the next fight.
Okay, here we go.
Mchan, if you want to talk about this fight.
Agatha goes either really well or really poorly, and sometimes an in-between. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna set up an X speed on Gengar, because Gengar outspeeds me. So we're going to X speed, so we can outspeed the Gengar. And then Gengar can either use Substitute, Mega Drain, or Confuse Ray, or even there's some other move. There's some other move, but you use Substitute, which just loses time, and then he went for Mega Drain afterwards, so that's good. The Golbat, on the other hand, Golbat has Confuse Ray, which is bad, or if you use Wing Attack. Agatha can also swap out, which is not very often. Okay, Leech Life, that's very good. Okay, so we have so overall, we got a crit there, that's okay. Overall, we have a really good Agatha fight.
So, let's see, after Agatha, we got, what's its face? Lance. Lance is a scary fight.
Yeah, very scary.
Depending on what HP you get hit to, there's multiple ways to play the fight. Because Lance leads this Gyarados that knows Hydro Pump, which, if it hits like a truck.
Yeah, and Hydro Pump, I think, is a 75% chance to hit, so it can miss. If it misses, it's good.
80%.
80%, yeah, so it's good if it misses. In red, that's the only thing that could go wrong in red, but in that fight. But in yellow, well,
the fight's not over after.
Yeah, it's not over.
You get through the Gyarados.
Alright, so we're definitely gonna heal and save here.
Because Red Bar isn't worth as much in yellow, it's actually ideal to just not get hit by a Hydro Pump, whereas in red, you see a lot of runners who just, like, Earthquake Air if they get Hydro Miss, because it's so important that the Gyarados gets them back into Red Bar. Here, and also it's a marathon, so, like, we have even less care for Red Bar. But either way, Hydro Miss is actually ideal in the Lance fight here.
Yeah, hopefully. So we're gonna start by using an X special so we can one-shot the Gyarados.
Not get one-shot by Hydro Pump.
Okay, it hits. Please live this. Alright, good.
Okay. We end there. Now, Dragonairs come out. These Dragonairs have various moves, like, I think one has Ice Beam, one has Hyper Beam. They probably both have Slam.
This one has Bubble Beam. Okay, use Bubble Beam.
Oh, yeah,
please don't Speedfall. Alright, good. Alright, we're good.
Woo! And with that, the fight is... Well, actually, there is technically Gen 1 missed chances, but
oh yeah, true.
this fight's good. And then we're just gonna heal right back up for the last fight in the game. Because, spoiler alert, you're not gonna be crowned champion immediately by Lance. Even though there have been some great efforts and all that. But either way, so it turns out our rival A has actually been ahead of us this entire time.
He's a true world record speedrunner.
Yeah. Beat the Elite Four before we did.
He beat Pokeguy.
Oh man. Pokeguy is the world record holder. You know, he's one of the best Pokemon speedrunners in the community, so shoutouts to him. He's the one who came up with the current forest route as well, so huge shoutouts to him and just the rest of the PSR community. Give them a shoutout, or join the PSR Discords if you would like to do that. Either way, here's Champ!
Yeah, so the only thing that could go wrong here is if I get crit.
Oh yeah, that...
I mean, it could Gen 1 miss, but how likely is that? Okay, there we go.
Just saying that on the last fight, run. You do
Eyes
actually
closed.
put on X
Okay, we did it!
Woo!
Okay, so from here we win, I think.
Jeez, that's a terrifying roll from the Sand Slash, I gotta say. But after the Sand Slash, you just have to hit him with Quake on Alakazam, and then you set up an accuracy on the Exeggutor. Exeggutor only uses 2 moves, Hypnosis or Leech Seed.
Alright, we got Leech Seed and a miss. Okay, good.
Yeah, even if Leech Seed hits, it's still a free fight from here on out.
Yeah.
Because, well, it doesn't do anything. So,
yeah.
Hope
it can also use Hypnosis, but all we gotta do is just use the Bucket Flute. Executor cannot damage us at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna use another Hypnosis, or it's gonna use Leech Seed. And if you're one-shotting everything Leech Seed, it doesn't drain HP in Gen 1, so that's exactly what we are doing. We're just killing everything in one shot.
Alright. And, yeah, so with that, we beat the game. We, defeated, Blue. And, yeah, so, time is after I, get past the Hall of Fame. And, yeah, so, man, this run went really well. The Minips didn't quite go well, but everything else past that was really well, and I'm really happy with this
the
run.
fights went really well. And I guess I'm wrong. Choosing the Dome Fossil is not necessarily a curse.
Praise
I might try that out
Dome.
at some point. Huh?
Praise Dome.
Did you... I wouldn't go that far, even considering how this run went, but you know what? You're the one who made it through this run, not me, so you have all the right to choose whatever you want to say. Congratulations. Thank you all for having us here at Speed Gaming. Keep supporting the Kid Hungry. And yeah. Thank you all for having us.
Time. 2:01:59.
That's actually
barely sub
pretty solid,
2:02.
Yeah.
Alright, man, that estimate is really generous, 2:15, but the last time I ran this at a marathon was 2 years ago at a different event called Link to the Cure, and I think I got a 2:10 there, and I wasn't happy with that run at all. So I'm really happy with this run. I mean, anytime you beat this game, anytime you complete a Pokemon run deathless, that's more than what you can ask for. Pokemon games at marathons are really crazy.
Very cursed luck often. Lots of content to be had. And this one, very tame.
Yeah.
You know what? We hope y'all were enjoying and chilling, because I certainly was.
Yeah. yeah. So what is it? So yeah, this game is definitely much harder than I made it. But if you are interested in learning this game or any of the other Pokemon games, there's a ton of resources that you can find on the leaderboards.
Speedrun.com, the PSM Discord, and many others are going to highly help you out. Mchan338's one of them. I'm also one of them. So yeah.
And this is a game that's like very outside of my comfort zone in speed games, as most people know me for Mario and Zelda games. But this is it's always fun to run this when I feel like chilling and it's a really fun speed game to come back to every once in a while. I really like this. In my opinion, I like this a lot more than Red. But Red is also
it's more fun than Red for sure.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to say here. So thank you, Randall, for commenting with me, and I also want to thank the SpeedGaming staff for allowing me to run two of my favorite speed games as well as Pokemon Yellow. Thank you to the two hosts. We got oh my god, what are their names? We got Yoinker Swife and Crimson Avix for hosting during my long 4-hour block of the schedule. So that is all for me. I'm really tired now after speedrunning for 4 hours total.
So many new runs, yeah.
But yeah, stay tuned for the next run. The next run is Neptunia. Yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned and keep supporting this marathon. This is a great cause.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you all for bearing with me being late, by the way.
No problem.
So yeah, thank you all for having us.